Protests on the plaza are continuing for a fifth straight day. Mayor Quinton Lucas has announced there will not be a curfew tonight. You heard that addressed in that news conference we just heard. Leslie Aguilar is there right now. Leslie, what's the latest?
Well, right now this crowd continues to grow. It's not as big as we've seen over the last couple days, especially that crowd of 2,000 on Sunday. But it's not just people protesting here in the plaza. There are small demonstrations happening all over the metro. I went to one in Lee Summit earlier today and asked people what they thought this movement is really about. It was a small crowd in front of Lee Summit City Hall, but with a lot of passion.
It's time for us to speak out. A life is worth more than my right to remain silent.
The group chanted George Floyd's name to passing cars.
I have a brother, and that could be him one day, being a victim of police brutality.
So what can be done to spark change?
The best way to affect change is to get out of your house and go do something about it.
It's so important to vote. It's so important to make your voice heard. And it's so important to use your white privilege in order to amplify, to start conversations and to amplify Black voices.
Those words, white privilege, have been used a lot lately. So what is it?
It means we can take AR-15s and go stand and shut down capitals without anyone bothering us, but knowing that if someone else throws a rock, they're going to get frickin' shot. So that's what it means to me, at least.
It means I was born into a home where I didn't have to struggle. I wasn't oppressed. I was given more than others were.
The words white privilege mean nothing to me. We're all privileged. We live in the United States. We're all free people. We all have privilege to a certain extent. I don't think it has anything to do with white privilege more than it has to do with our criminal justice system designed the way it is to hurt communities of color.
The privilege that sometimes white people have to not fear for their lives sometimes when there's a cop that's pulling them over. Not a bad thing, just something that I think people should acknowledge.
So a lot of disagreements there, as you heard, on the topic of white privilege, but no disagreement on the notion that those discussions about these topics are important for people to have. And also no disagreement on the notion that people need to get out and vote for candidates who support their values. Reporting live in the plaza, Leslie Aguilar, KCTV 5 News.
Thanks, Leslie.